Hey guys, welcome back to another video by Fully Informed Trade, or Fitrade for short knowledge for everyone. Okay, so many people have been asking me, first of all, since gold is considered a good investment, but you still want some exposure to stocks, what are some investments that are key in this environment that may be beneficial to a portfolio, especially when you don't want to be exposed to the negative risks implied by European default? Well, one of the main companies that I want to highlight is Philip Morrison, which is up by around 1.5% on a date. The Dow Jones Industrial Average has fallen by around 0.8%. Now, the main reason why I consider Philip Morrison a great investment is mainly because of the fact that Philip Morrison is a company that does sell the Marlboro brand of cigarettes. Now, why do I recommend a company that sells cigarettes? Well, basically, cigarettes are non-cyclical investments, or basically a product that sells regardless of what cycle you are inside of a business environment. Another reason why I believe that Philip Morrison is a great investment is because, again, there are many numeric characteristics that I could point out. Unfortunately, I can't just pull out my Scottrade and show you the whole fundamental rundown. I should probably partner up with Scottrade pretty soon, and that should probably work out better. Therefore, I can show you Scottrade statistics and yeah, but basically I can't use data that doesn't really belong to me without the permission of the people providing it. But basically, Philip Morrison has seen consistent earnings growth for the past couple years. The statistics have been statistically proven that cigarette sales have continued to go up. And the main reason why Philip Morrison, or Philip Morrison's main brand, which is the Marlboro brand, is much more competitive to the Camel brand is mainly because Marlboro as a whole sells their products in a red and white labeling. Now, the main reason why this red and white labeling is very good is because, in a sense, cigarette companies cannot sell their products in a form of, let's say, they can't make any direct advertisements. They used to before, but just recently, or not really recently, but in recent history, they banned advertisements of cigarettes. So what these companies are forced to do is create a certain image of their brand without putting their logo on it. So a lot of the times you'll see Marlboro indirectly advertised by creating bars that are red in color. So whenever you see a red bar, it's because mainly because the cushions, the furnishing, everything, the whole theme of it is red, not because the people who own the bar chose it because of the benefits of having a red color. It's because Marlboro paid them money to create a red bar. Now, at that red bar, obviously people do smoke cigarettes and stuff, and that red color promotes, of course, the brand Marlboro. Another thing about Marlboro and the whole entire cigarette business is that it's promoted indirectly through public media, and how it's done is that, well, basically, whenever people say something negative about cigarettes, like, oh, cigarettes is bad for your health, or they have all these advertisements around cigarettes involving that, well, I found that more people remember negativity than they do positive stuff or positive experiences. So let's say you say, oh, well, cigarettes are bad for you, it causes lung cancer, blah, 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 blah. Well, these advertisements, in a sense, indirectly promote smoking because people don't remember the Super Bowl commercial or commercials in regards to perhaps Pepsi products, or they might not remember that Samsung commercial. But what they will remember is that smoking is bad for you. So automatically you get this inception of smoking inside of your brain already. So everybody already knows the existence of cigarettes because the government has invested a substantial amount of money into the theme that cigarettes are bad. But you still know what a cigarette is. So already Marlboro has segmented itself inside of a certain market. Now, what happens with cigarettes now is that amongst all the people that already know the existence of cigarettes, what happens is that these companies try to brand themselves. Now, branding happens because these companies try to indirectly expose themselves to their consumers by means of coloring. Marlboro already has an inherent advantage, just red and white. Now all you have to do is promote your product by promoting things that are red, and automatically you get the image of a Marlboro cigarette. Now, in the case of Camel, Camel has a much harder time doing that because, well, how in the heck do you promote a Camel without sticking your logo on something? Well, again, that's really hard to do, and because of that, Camel is losing a lot of market share to Philip Morrison, which owns the Marlboro brand. So basically, the product that's easiest to indirectly advertise without placing your logo everywhere is the one that wins out in this race. And right now, Marlboro is obviously doing a much better job than the Camel brand or any other brand for that matter, like Pall Mall and Pyramids. So again, I don't smoke cigarettes, so I'm not saying smoking is good or anything, and I'm not advocating that you smoke or don't smoke. The only thing I'm saying is that in this environment, if you want a safe, steady, stream of dividends, which Philip Morrison, believe it or not, gives out a 4.5% dividend. The stock is appreciating at a pretty decent rate, and also considering the branding strategy that Marlboro has working for them, overall it points towards Philip Morrison because Philip Morrison is getting more market share. It's in a non-cyclical environment. The stock appreciates even during times of fear and uncertainty. The Dow component goes down, but even so, on the same day, Philip Morrison stock still goes up because asset managers are reallocating themselves out of cyclical investments into the non-cyclical sector, one of them being Philip Morrison. So again, Philip Morrison is a great investment overall for the longer term because, again, if you're not one of those ethical investors, you're not really Christian, you're not much of a Mormon or whatever, basically, if religious beliefs don't hold you back from investing inside of Philip Morrison is probably a pretty decent bet to put your money just for the dividend growth, the dividend earnings, the superior branding and marketing strategy, the fundamentals that back it because their earnings have consistently grown for the past 5 years, and also overall it is non-cyclical in nature. So you're looking at a pretty steady investment with longer-term yields, longer-term growth, and an overall better value over the long term. So that does it for me for today. Again, Philip Morrison is up 1.5% on the day, and Dow Jones Industrial Average is down by 0.8%. Again, just a personal disclaimer, I do own stock in Philip Morrison, so I am an investor in Philip Morrison. I do have some financial benefit, so again, listen to this advice with some with an incredulous attitude, as I do have a vested interest in this company. But after all, I'm just an investor. I'm not a consumer. I'm not advocating anything here. I'm just saying that if you want consistent yields, consistent growth, this is probably where you want to be considering the market environment you're in. That does it for me for today, folks. If you guys have any questions, please leave a comment below, and I will go ahead and get back to them as soon as I possibly can. And I will have more for you in the weeks and months ahead, so be sure to go ahead and subscribe. Thanks a bunch, and I'll see you guys all some other time whenever I post up another video. Take care, folks.